DeWanna Bonner is somebody that could have been 50 grand richer, but she decided she wanted to leave the Indiana Fever. That's her choice. It was her choice to be 50 grand poorer at the end of the day. She made that choice. Nobody else made that.
In a storyline only karma could script, the Indiana Fever have claimed their first ever Commissioner's Cup, without the self-proclaimed veteran leader who turned her back on them. And to sweeten the irony, they didn't just win the title. They secured a $500,000 prize pool that DeWanna Bonner won't see a single dime of.
Care what nobody says, bro. She's a quitter. Well, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people was definitely poking fun at her online for missing out on $50,000, bro. Now, if you guys did not notice, the Indiana Fever winning the Commissioner Cup grants each player on the basketball team a $50,000 bonus. And unfortunately, DeWanna Bonner will not receive that same amount of love because, you want to know why? Because she quit the damn.
This is the story of a player who believed she could walk away from her team and still end up the winner, only to be left watching from the couch as the Indiana Fever stunned the basketball world, dismantling the 14-2 Minnesota Lynx in the biggest upset of the season.
Don't know, obviously, DeWanna Bonner was a player for the Fever, and she's currently a player for absolutely nobody. She's currently a player for nobody. She's currently a player for YMCA Basketball Club, where she's getting her. Every team that wants to go and sign Bonner also wants to sign Emma, and Emma's a better player. Emma is the better player. So they straight up, they're out here using DeWanna Bonner as a consolation prize, and until the signing for Emma Messiman is sorted, it does not appear like she's going to be signed by anyone.
While Bonner scrambles to figure out which team might take a chance on her next, her former teammates are busy cashing in, each pocketing between $41,700 and $45,454 in prize money, plus an extra $5,000 in crypto courtesy of Coinbase.
Quite frankly, this has to be the biggest quitting situation in a mighty long time. In a mighty long time, somebody said your front office brought in Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, returned to Sid Coates, and thought there was going to be contenders. They are contenders, bro. They just won the Commissioner Cup. Somebody said DeWanna Bonner is washed up, and me personally, see, this is not getting talked about, right? What's not getting talked about is actually this. How about Ari McDonald being more valuable than DeWanna Bonner? Ari McDonald having a bigger impact on his basketball team than the two-time WNBA champion, Ari McDonald. Then the two-time WNBA.
When DeWanna Bonner threw her tantrum and walked away from the Indiana Fever in June, claiming the fit just didn't work out, no one could have predicted her exit would align with the franchise's most iconic moment. The Fever's 74-59 dismantling of the heavily favored Minnesota Lynx wasn't just a win, it was a statement. This team doesn't need players who fold under pressure.
The Indiana Fever are sipping the sweet nectar of the Commissioner's Cup. Now, I've been saying that the Fever are formidable, even through the struggles so far this season, Caitlin Clark being out with injury, obviously. That's because the addition of Ari McDonald and the switch with DeWanna Bonner is a big boost for this team. That's because I've seen other trends that point in the right direction. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston is a star. Kelsey Mitchell continues to thrive. They got that production from Natasha Howard that was missing to the tune of Commissioner's Cup MVP. Role players stepped up. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull's been there all season. You put that together with a healthy CC, and I do think the WNBA has to still watch out for the Indiana Fever.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Now picture this, Bonner, sitting at home on a Tuesday night, watching her former team celebrate their first trophy since 2012. She could have been the one hoisting the Commissioner's Cup and cashing that bonus check. Instead, she's stuck fielding calls from agents, hoping someone, maybe the Phoenix Mercury or Atlanta Dream, will take her in. But let's be honest, how many teams are eager to sign a player who walks out mid-season?
Now, but I know it ain't funny to her because Yeah, she's been awkwardly quiet. She didn't congratulate the team for whatever reason. And people was definitely poking fun at her online. I know DeWanna Bonner sitting at home big mad like, I know she is, bro. I know she hella mad right now. $50K going down the drain. One fan saying missing out on the extra.
Bonner inked a $200,000 contract with the Fever, an investment that made 0 sense, expecting to be a starter and veteran leader on a championship-caliber team. But when coach Stephanie White made the obvious call to bench her after she put up a miserable 2.6 points per game on 2 of 12 shooting across her first 3 starts, Bonner couldn't stomach the reality check. She vanished for 5 straight games, citing personal reasons, which, let's be honest, is just PR speak for my feelings are hurt.
She couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from 3. She's an excellent 3-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles. She gets rebounds. She gets steals. She puts her heart out.
While Bonner was busy pouting and plotting her exit strategy, the Fever found their true veteran leader in Ari McDonald. And McDonald wasted no time making Bonner's absence feel like addition by subtraction. In the Commissioner's Cup final, McDonald delivered when it mattered most, dropping 12 points, grabbing 3 boards, snagging a steal, and swatting 2 shots in just 25 minutes of championship-level basketball. It was the kind of clutch performance Bonner never came close to delivering for Indiana. McDonald's rise only makes Bonner's mid-season meltdown look even more petty and painfully irrelevant.
Let's go, boy. The beast is finally back, man. Somebody that waited patiently and wanted to be here, man. Get that string bean paper clip built as DeWanna Bonner up out of here. That's why you got waived. And we brought back Miss Ari McDonald, who made more of an impact on the hardship deal than your goofy ass did the few games that you played, Goofy. Ari is lit, man.
Here's a player who was cut by the LA Sparks, joined the Fever on a hardship contract, got released due to league rules, and was re-signed just days before the Commissioner's Cup final. But instead of whining about her role or demanding a trade, Ari McDonald went to work. She seized every opportunity and quickly became a fan favorite through pure hustle and heart. The contrast couldn't be more striking. In her first 3 games with the Fever, McDonald averaged 11 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals, instantly flashing more grit, intelligence, and impact than Bonner showed in 9 forgettable appearances. When Indiana needed someone to rise in the biggest game in franchise history, McDonald stepped up and delivered exactly what Bonner never could, a championship-level performance under pressure.
Ari McDonald, 12 points. She played well as well. 12 points, 2 blocks, 3 rebounds for Ari McDonald, 5 for 6 from the field. Ari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham, from an efficiency standpoint, they had themselves quite the ball game. Sophie Cunningham, 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 13 points, 7 rebounds off the bench for Sophie Cunningham. Stephanie White saw something from Sophie that she didn't like seeing so much from Lexi Hall, and Lexi Hall only played 15 minutes, giving a majority of that time to Sophie Cunningham. At the end of the day,
let's talk about just how colossal this upset really was. The Minnesota Lynx entered the Commissioner's Cup final with a league-best 14-2 record, boasting the highest offensive rating in the WNBA and riding a wave of dominant performances. They were the defending Commissioner's Cup champions, had home court advantage at Target Center, and were facing a Fever team sitting at 8-8. Without their superstar, Caitlin Clark, sidelined by a groin injury, every expert had Minnesota penciled in for an easy win. Vegas favored the Lynx. Analysts picked them across the board. Most fans were bracing for a blowout. But here's where the irony turns poetic. The Indiana Fever, without their brightest star, played with more heart, grit, and championship DNA than Bonner ever brought to the table. After falling behind by 13 points early, they roared back with an 18-0 second quarter run that flipped the entire momentum. They didn't just beat the WNBA's top offense. They smothered it, holding Minnesota to a season-low 59 points. This wasn't just an upset. It was a seismic statement. And it made one thing painfully clear. Indiana doesn't need ego. They need effort.
but the Indiana Fever go up 9-6 early in the first quarter. The Minnesota Lynx go on a 12-0 run, taking the lead. So maybe this is when they, the Fever, the Lynx dominate the Fever to win the. Maybe that's when they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't realize that Stephanie White called a timeout after that, and the Indiana Fever went on a 14-0 run themselves, took the lead, and didn't look back from that point on. This wasn't the prettiest game. This wasn't the most exciting game, but this was a game that a lot of people wrote the Indiana Fever off. Without Caitlin Clark, a lot of people said the Indiana Fever have absolutely